What's going on, guys? Justin Lamb with Kendall Volkswagen of Bend. Today we're going to talk to you a little bit about this 1958 Volkswagen Beetle. If you've been in our showroom in the last few months, you've probably seen this thing sitting here, and it actually has a lot of really cool history behind it. So this being a 58, in 1958 they went from the split back window to the big oval window to give you a little bit more room. The other thing was in 1955 they upped the displacement and got a little bit more horsepower. It went from 30 to 36 horsepower. It's a lot of ponies down there. So in 1958, besides some of the design changes to the motor and the back window, one of the other things is going to be in the interior, where they redesigned this front glove box to where it was a little bit bigger. One of the cool things we have inside here is actually this, which is from Mid-Oregon Motors, which is where this came from. This car was actually owned by Mr. and Mrs. Ricks for over 40 years. They own Mid-Oregon Motors. A cool thing too is there's actually an article in the Bend Bulletin that was published on August 31st, 1960, and it talks about a trip that they got to go on to go visit the Volkswagen factory to try and get some more growth here in the United States. Because in 1955 they'd actually produced their 1 millionth Beetle. However, there's only 9,000 in the United States. So back when this got to Bend, this was one of the few and far between that was in Central Oregon. One of the reasons the Beetle was so successful is because it was supposed to be the people's car. And if you can believe this, in 1958, this car cost $1,742. Would that be nice? The Beetle has a really pretty interesting history, especially this one here in being in Central Oregon. Everybody loves Bend. And this one having so much history rooted here in Bend. It's pretty cool to have here on our showroom. This one is actually for sale. But some kind of other interesting facts I want to talk to you about Volkswagen too is, especially the Beetle, this has been the longest running manufactured car on a single platform ever, period. Which is pretty cool. The other interesting fact is 1999 they had a Car of the Century award, where they gave out some awards for cars that have been around for a long time and kind of withstood time. This car, the Volkswagen Beetle, actually got fourth to the Model T and some other car that I hadn't really ever heard of, but pretty cool and an interesting fact. But this 58 is an awesome example. So obviously the Volkswagen Beetle is one of those cars that was mass produced, was for the people. There's a lot of people that if you talk to your parents, your grandparents, they all have an awesome story about some of the exciting times they had in their Volkswagen Beetle. So that's why I'm going to invite you guys August 25th to come down here from 2 to 5. We're having our annual bug-in. So if you have a cool Volkswagen Bug, a bus, anything Volkswagen related, bring it down, old or new. We'd love to have it out here. It's kind of a cool show. We're going to have this guy who has, it's Autobahn coffee. It's a 1972 Westfalia that he's converted into a coffee cart. It's super rad. We're gonna have a lot of music, food, prizes, and a lot of fun events, so I can't wait to see you guys. Come check it out.
Kendall, let's start something great.